All right, boys and girls, we are going to do our own version of some graffiti art, and we're going to do our name. The first thing I want to talk about before I go any further is that when you draw something, you want to draw it so that it's just the right size. You'll notice that for my piece of paper, I have drawn this so that it fits on the paper without being squished or being teeny tiny. I see a lot of artwork where it's this big and there's all this paper left. Don't do that. That's very frustrating. So the first thing you probably want to do is take your piece of paper. I have a nice piece of white paper and I'm going to measure in 3 fingers. You can do 4. And I'm going to lightly, always do it light until it's right, just draw a line. It doesn't even have to be straight. So I want my name to fall between these lines, and I'll bring my paper closer so you see how light they are. This gives me a little bit of room in case I want to add something else. Now, you could draw a line across here if you wanted to, lightly. This might help you line your letters up. You could even draw 3 lines. I know some of you do skywriting, so here's the sky in the middle and the ground. So sometimes that's helpful for our letters. And we are going to draw light until we get it right. Usually I never draw with a pencil for demonstrations because it's hard to see. Let's see if I can turn my light on. There we go. That might help. All right, so I turned the light on under here. So I'm going to start with my name, and I'm going to draw it lightly. So I have 6 letters. So if this is the middle, 3 letters on this side, 3 letters on that side. So this is my first letter, and I'm going to do this in all capitals. I'm going to leave a little bit of room for my letters. Now, notice I'm drawing them tall, but not terribly wide, so I have plenty of room. I made this S a little big, but that's okay. So now I'm going to go back and I'm going to make these thicker. So what you can do, I'm going to take, this is a brand new one. I don't always like to use brand new markers because I'm trying to save some for another project. This one's not as good. Okay, so I'm going to do everything to start with in black, the outlining. So I'm going to start with my outlining the letters. And there's something on like a crumb or something. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to color. Now, if you don't have markers, you could use crayons. But the big thing is that we're going to do our name black. We're going to do a monochromatic color scheme. That means you're going to pick one color and black and white. That's what a monochromatic color scheme is in its simplest form. One color and black and white. Now, we could mix the colors. In the next couple weeks, you will get your art kits, and they will have paints in them. Paints are awesome. As well as colored paper. Now, you can kind of square off the ends. So as you're coloring it in, you go, I want the ends of my S to be kind of squared off. Simplify them. And really pay attention to when you color, color in the letter. So make sure you do a good job. A lot of people like to brush. You can also outline your letter. I'm going to square off the ends and then color them in. Like I said, if you do not have markers, a black crayon will do the trick. Colored pencils will also work. You'll notice that a lot of this paper is coming up. I'm not a fan of this particular paper. I just happen to have it laying around. Some paper is better than others, not gonna lie, especially for different types of drawing. Notice that I like to turn my paper a lot. That's so that I have an easier time working on my artwork. This paper really drinks up the ink from my work. All right, we're gonna have to switch markers. This one needs a little help from his friend. Sharpies really, they're good markers. They're okay, but they do dry out after a while. If you ever watch the YouTube channel Art for Kids Hub, you'll notice that they often have a whole bunch of markers on the table. That's because they probably go through several markers a day. It'll probably dry out, especially if you get this kind of paper. Paper's kind of not so great. I don't like it. I'm not gonna lie. It just kind of drinks the marker up and leaves my marker dry. Nobody likes a dry marker. You like your marker to be juicy. A lot of ink in it. That's what that means. Okay. I like a marker that has a lot of juice in it. Blow that out. You want to be really careful that you don't put your hand in the ink. And then you're going to get like ink fingerprints everywhere. Notice I'm going around my Y. Now, I didn't do it perfectly. You can make changes. This is why we do things in pencil. So we can make changes. Now the drawback is that this bleeds straight through, especially this paper. It's not good paper. This paper is more for pencils, not all kinds of medium. Okay, so there's my name. Now I'm going to outline my name. So I'm going to go around. Now you could do this in a pencil first. I'm just going to go right in there and very carefully outline my name. And I'm going to add the dripping ink as if there's paint coming off of my paper. And it's just drippy and juicy. Drippy and juicy. That's so weird. So I have all these spaces to color in today. So this is what we're going to get to today. You are just going to color in your name and the drippy juicy parts. Now you could make this line around here thicker if you so desire. If that's part of your artistic idea, that would be great. I get the feeling this is going to be a while to color this in. This paper's awful. I did a different marker last time when I did the demo. I think with this paper, it might actually be better to use crayon. That's what this paper must be made for, crayons or something like that. I'm getting a lot of these fuzzy pieces of the paper coming up with the ink on it. It's kind of a mess. That's why it's important when you buy art materials, you find out what the materials are meant for. It's one of my big pet peeves. We got those art kits last week and I was so excited. And then I realized we got glue sticks, and I hate glue sticks because I don't have very good luck with them. And boys and girls lose tops and stuff like that. So I hope you're very careful with your glue sticks when you get them. Also, whoever picked out the crayons, they are not good quality crayons. My advice is take the really nice crayons that your classroom teachers are giving you, the Crayola ones, and switch it so that you can do nice artwork. Because the ones, ironically enough, they give you in the art kit, they're not very good. The markers are decent. I don't mind the markers from Crazy Art. I just don't like the crayons. And they also gave me Crazy Art watercolors. I'm not a fan of that either, but it's not as bad as the crayon. The crayons are, the colors are so faded. When you want something nice and bright, it's just not going to work. We're making art, people. Want some nice, bright colors. Oh well, but at least you have art kits. They do have a nice, sketchbook in there, and you got some nice colored paper, which means that once I know everybody has their art pack, we're going to make some projects with the colored paper. Because I'm getting tired of, I love drawing, okay? Let's be honest. I could do a class of just drawing and I would be perfectly okay with it. However, I feel like a lot of my friends like to do a variety of artwork using a variety of materials. Most years I'll use clay and colored paper, all kinds of paint, tempera paint and stuff, but unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do that. So, we're just going to do the best we can. All right, so look at that. I was talking about the art kits, and bam, we are done. This is it. This is all I want. Now, next week, we're going to add to this. Next week. This week, all you need to do is have your name in black. That's it. That's all I want. Black. Or a nice dark color. Dark gray would work. Brown would work. Black would be best. Black is bold. It's going to hold up next to another color. We're going to use some bright colors with it. All right, I'll see you next week.